What's up guys, this is Brent with 24/7 Parts, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to put on the Deluxe Canopy with fan on the John Deere Z735M. When you get this Deluxe Canopy kit, the first thing that we need to do is some work back here at the ROPS, as we're gonna need to make sure that this is going to support the weight of this canopy. So the first thing we wanna break out are these two shims, and then also these two large nuts, bolts, and washers that are going to support this ROPS going forward. So the first thing that we're going to do to the mower is we're going to remove our ROPS pins by pulling out that cotter, releasing that pin, and we're just gonna let that hang for a minute. And then we're gonna do the same thing here on the other side. Go ahead and get these released. And then what we're going to do is take our shims and we're going to go to the inside of our ROPS here, and we're going to slide these down in. Now this can be sort of challenging, so you'll have to work at this a little bit. There's a lot of paint on these shims, but these are an important part to making sure that the ROPS is going to be supported, as they're going to act as a support from here to here on the inside to hold this from falling either outside or inside. Now, for some people, if you cannot get this on the inside, they should slide in just like so. And sometimes these may take just a little bit of tapping with a non-hard blow hammer here, because we want to make sure that our hole in our shim is lined up with our ROPS. Next thing we're going to do is take one of our large bolts here, make sure the washer is on the outside, and then we're going to go in through the frame, through the ROPS, and then through our shim, all the way out to the other side. Then we're going to go ahead and start our nut in place, and then also check to make sure that our pin will go through, so we have that locking mechanism in place, just like that. We'll do the same thing over here on the other side, then tighten everything up, and then we're ready to start with our top bracket. All right, now to tighten everything up, what we're gonna need is a 28mm or an 1.125". Either one will work to go ahead and tighten these up. We wanna make sure that these are good and snug, because like I said, these are your main supporting piece for that weight that is gonna be added. All right, and once we're good and supported here and here, now it's time to move to the top with our mounting bracket. Now that we have everything secured, we can go on with our top mounting bracket. Now, what you'll have is this large, heavy mounting bracket here on the top. You'll notice there are 3 holes here on each side and then 6 holes here in the middle. And we want to make sure whenever we're putting this on that the open side is facing up and that our angled side is facing down. Now what you'll have is you'll have 3 U-bolts just like this that are going to mount from the back side through the ROPS and then through our bracket. So we want to mount these up, and then we're going to have 6 washers and 6 nuts that go onto these U-bolts to mount this firmly. So first thing, we want to raise that up and go through our center holes here, just like so, and try to get that as center with our ROPS as possible. And then we can go on with our 2 other U-bolts. just like so. And then what we'll need is a 9/16 socket for our nuts and washers. And go ahead and start putting these on. And yes, as you can see in the video here, I have lost a washer. So if you do happen to lose one washer, make sure to leave it off of your bottom center point here, as that's going to be one of the least crucial points where we would want that washer to snug things up. And then just go ahead and take that 9/16 socket and tighten everything up. Now the last step to mounting this canopy is, of course, putting the actual canopy up on the bracket. Now this may require two people. If you're not quite tall enough or don't quite have the strength to get it up there by yourself, definitely get two people to do this. I've found that being able to put it on my back and have the bracket side of the underneath facing the bracket side on the mower, I can hold it up with my back and shoulders and then be able to get my last 4 bolts and nuts in, which will be in your kit. So you will have 4 bolts to put in. Once you get it up and sat on, you can put those bolts in the top hole and the bottom hole on each side, and this will secure it to where you're able to put your nuts on and tighten everything up. So we'll go ahead and do that now. So I've got the canopy here. I'm gonna get down and grab it from the brackets, put it above my head like so. I'm gonna step onto the mower, get a knee here on the seat, and then I'm gonna slide the brackets into each other and then let it rest on the ROPS. And then I will find my holes here in each side. And then once you have those into place, we have our 4 bolts in. Now is when you're going to need your 18mm wrench and ratchet here and socket. We'll go ahead and start these nuts here on both sides. So once we get our bolts put into place and go ahead and thread our nuts on, next we need an 18mm wrench and a 17mm socket and ratchet to tighten things up. Now I know that's weird, usually they're the same size, but just trust me here, 17 for the bolt, 18 for the nut, and then we can go ahead and tighten everything up. So now that we have everything mounted up, the next part is very, very simple. It's going to be the wiring of this so we have power to our fan. So in your kit is going to come this wiring harness here. One end will have the end that goes to our fan side, and you'll see it comes on a long cord here so that we can run this down the ROPS to our other end here, which is going to go down into our control panel. Now there is a hole back behind here up underneath that we're actually going to feed this wiring harness up and through, and then what we'll have is one end will go into our key switch and the other end will go into the existing wiring harness on the machine. So once we plug in the top that's going up here to our fan, next what we need to do is remove our instrument panel. So we're going to take a T25 hex or star head bit rather, and take the 2 screws loose here on the control panel. Set those over here in our cup holder. And then once we get this loose, we'll notice that there's not a whole lot of room to work once we get this pulled up and out of the way. So the first thing we want to do is pull it over, and then we'll take our end here. Now, keep in mind, nothing to do with this end. This is only fuses. If we take this cap off, you'll see that we have the 2 fuses here. Don't have to worry about it. What we're looking at is these 2 ends. So we're going to take those, go down the side of the mower, and then right directly underneath where our hour meter is, there is a hole that we can very carefully feed this stuff through. Just like that, and now we have our ends up and out. Then the next step is we want to be able to disconnect our key switch. So what I'm going to do is take a pair of pliers right here to this plastic knob around the outside of our key switch and loosen this up. Then I'll be able to spin this off rather. Take out the key switch, make sure to not lose that washer. Now we have our key switch exposed here. We want to keep in mind orientation. So whenever we're going back in with our key switch, we want to make sure that our wiring harness here is facing towards the rear. So to unplug this, we have a flathead screwdriver here, and we're going to be on the back side. We're going to raise up on this tab, and then disconnect our switch. And then from here, we're going to connect to our new connector. It'll only go one way. To make sure and get that going the right way. Pop that on, and then pop our key switch onto its new connector here. Just like so. And then we can go back in with our wiring, making sure our key switch is oriented back the right way. Put on our collar and go back up and through with our key switch. Go back on with our holder ring here. And once we have that all installed, we can go back down and in with our control panel. Go back in with our 2 screws. Now it's time to test everything out, so we're going to make sure that our fan switch is in the off position up here up top. We're going to put our key in, turn this to the on position, and with that we should have power now to our fan. So I'm going to turn this on. And right there, guys, you've got one heck of a fan. I know you can hear that cranking up. And I'm telling you, if you were mowing on a long, hot day and needed some air, that thing is going to be the way to go. Now, the other great thing about this attachment is that it is adjustable. So you have 2 knobs up here at your fan that you can undo just like so. And then you can slide this fan back or forward wherever you need it to make sure that that air is hitting you perfectly. So if it were me, I'd slide that just a little closer here, and I'm going to give that one more go because I'll say that feels pretty nice. Works great. Works great. Now this is what your finished product would look like. This is going to be a hard top. This is not a soft top canopy. So hard top, gonna be good out there in the weather. Super sturdy, gonna hold up to that wind if you have it. Also, like we just showed, the fan is an awesome feature. The only thing we need to do last is go ahead and zip tie this into place. That way we're not having this flapping around as we're mowing. There are gonna be zip ties in the kit that you are able to use to zip tie this wherever you need it to keep it out of the way. But guys, if you think that this canopy is something that you definitely need for your Z7 mower, it is gonna be part number BUC11046, and you can go and check that out at 247parts.com. Also guys, if you found this video helpful or you like this video, we just ask you to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, as that helps us out as well. And as always guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, make sure to go buy your parts right here and subscribe right here.